Everybody, thanks for stopping by my channel, Esteemed Queen Mentality. Be sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below so that way you get to know when I post my tea talks. I hope everyone's doing well. If you hear anything in the background, my next door neighbor is now getting to their yard in the evening time. I did mine earlier today, so I'm good. But just in case if you hear it in the background, just want to let you know. Okay? Alright. I'm a little bit tanner than normal, but it's okay. It's okay. So be sure that you head over to Cooking with Stella. That is one of my other channels. Just go underneath the channels tab and you will see my other two channels there. Hope everyone is doing well and okay. I have a bit of a headache. So I wonder if this tea talk we have today is going to alleviate that. So we gonna see. I have a feeling that it is kind of like a spiritual headache, but it is what it is. It's whatever. But get your water, get your wine, get whatever it is that you sipping on, get it and bring it close. Okay, so if y'all haven't gone over to my previous video that I did on the wrong focus, I did one of those like emergency type message tea talks with you guys in regards to a couple of different things that we do have going on. Also, today is Thursday, so we will be over in the warrior community later on this evening to discuss the book that we are reading for this quarter. So yeah, make sure that you go over to our membership club. Mine as well, right? You're already here, so you might as well go there too. But I was going over a spiritual tobacco that had happened, and I was pretty much just, you know, putting out my little 2 cents and my tea talks about it. So what I want to talk about with y'all real quick before my voice goes out, because I want to go on my other channels today as well, I want to talk to y'all about that Arsenal clip or whatever, that magazine clip, that Arsenal, you know, that grenade that I told you to put aside that we discussed in the last video, which was the wrong focus. And I told you that there's going to be a couple of different things that are going to be your secret weapon to be able to maneuver through situations, trials and tribulations strategically to be able to come out on the other side. So what I want to talk about in this video, this is part 1. Part 2 will be posted maybe on Saturday, but nonetheless, I'm being obedient. And so, yeah, so we're going to start out with this one, okay? This is part 1 of your secret arsenal, okay? And so, you know, I don't even know how to start this off. I do know how to start this conversation off, okay? We do. So, following up with what I told you guys in my previous video, the wrong focus. Needless to say, I can tell that the CashApp notification has not been answered, but I saw her the other day and I kept driving. That's about it. I mean, once you know, when you figure it out, it's really no need for you to go poke. And there's, you know, you got your confirmation, right? All right, cool. So, needless to say, I haven't heard anything in regards from her. No block call notifications, none of that type stuff. Oh, like I haven't heard not a damn thing. And we're going to keep it that way, okay? In the name of Jesus, amen, amen. And so, brings me to today. Now, I like being out in my little yard, you know. I like, you know, my garden. My garden is coming together, y'all. But that's neither here or there. The friends that the lady that I was telling y'all about in the last video, the people that are around the corner, in between me and the lady I was talking about, came to my house this morning. came to my house this morning, and luckily I hadn't pulled out the lawnmower and all my, gardening things. Luckily, I wasn't so quick to, go ahead and put out my plan as to what I was going to do or whatever. So when I was sitting there enjoying my coffee, and my cat, my pet child was in the house, he was eating his breakfast. All I hear someone drive, but then I had a feeling someone came back. Okay, so I look over my shoulder, and damn if it wasn't one of they people pulling into my yard. Now this old ass man, let me tell you, the devil, I'm trying to tell you. Luckily, I had boots on. The enemy knew it was not that type of time today. Okay, it wasn't that type of time for him, but I had time this morning. Okay, so he pulls up into my yard, like pulls up into my driveway. So I noticed who it is. So I said, oh hell no. I said, hold on, I'm talking to my pet child. I didn't close the door, put the bolt back on it, put the lawnmower and everything, and I did just like old lady did in 227. I opened up the fucking window. This is why I told y'all in my look, I know I have a plethora of videos, okay? So when I say you need to go back to that video that is entitled close your window, or something to do with your window, watch your window, whatever the case may be, this is one of those situations. I'm not telling y'all no, like, I'm not up here like gossiping with y'all about some BS. Like, when I tell you I know what's happening before it happens, it's crazy. So yeah, you know what I'm saying, that close your window video. So that's what I did. I 227'd his ass. I opened up my window and I was just like, do you need anything? He's like, yeah, I was just, before he could even get it out, I looked him right dead in his face, and I could feel it coming through my pores that I was giving him the look of conviction. You know what I'm saying? Like, because let me tell you, before we even got to the point of me opening my window, bruh man had the nerve, as old as he is, decide at 9 in the morning to honk his horn in my driveway. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. You are not guest that was invited to my home. And 9 a.m. in the morning? Really? Now, mind you, I'm aware of my surroundings. So, luckily, I was prepared again. And I had my antennas up. And when I spoke to him, I told him this. And this is what leads us into today's tea talk. This is what leads us into today's tea talk, what I'm about to say. I looked at him right down dead. Like, literally, if he could feel it in his kneecaps how hard I was looking at him, I'm trying to tell you something. The look I gave him could have fixed anybody's arthritis, scoliosis, you name it. Because, like, literally, I stared him straight up and down. I said, look, I'm going to be very frank. I am not a person that is keen and cool with people just rolling up in my driveway, stopping by my house, deciding when they want to be company. And most the fuck of all, you do not come to my home and come near my home, period, honking their horn at me. Now, what is it that I can do for you? He's kept ranting about business opportunity or whatever, and I was like, nah, I don't like working for other people. I got my own thing. He said, oh, okay. He scurried back off into his little vehicle. Now, the funny thing is that he left his door open. Don't the enemy flee? Like, it would have been different had his door been closed and walked up to the door, whatever. Maybe the energy would have been different. But how I interpreted at that moment was the fact of, if you knew what you were getting yourself into coming over here, you would have came to the door. If you felt comfortable enough, if I gave off any type of degree of niceness and kindness for you to feel as if like you can come to the door, you would have did that. But you were unaware of what you were walking into. See, I don't know who passed the spiritual message about this being the lion's den, but enemy, if you gotta flee because you don't know what the result is gonna be, keep the objectives where you can go and get them completed. Because I'm telling you, I walk with authority. When I walk with authority, and when I tell you, I looked him right dead in his eyes. I said, "But I appreciate it." He said, "All right." I said, "But you have a nice day." Closed my damn window. Went on by my business. Did what I needed to do. I know in my house, let the windows back open a little bit, close, and I went by my business. But you know what? What his answer back to me was, he said, because I told him, I said, to be frank or what may have you, I'm not really cool, calm, and comfortable with, things that I'm not aware of before they're happening. And in the midst of me mentioning, that I had told him, I said, I don't like my peace fucked with or tampered. And what's so crazy is he didn't make eye contact with me solidly until I said that. And when I said that, he said back to me, "You can have all the peace you want, but why you gotta flee though?" You know what I'm saying? Like I just didn't. It didn't sit well with me in regards to how this all came about, because he said the only reason why he knew where I was because he saw one of his co-workers that does landscaping for me in my yard. You see how they run in packs? Like, dude. So anyhow, that's what we gonna talk about. Part 1. Your secret arsenal. In your secret arsenal, let me tell you what you have. And if you didn't catch it, I'm going to tell you again. Peace. Peace. Peace is a spirit power. You got to understand, like, when you have peace, you have power. You walk in it. You don't let no one threaten it. And it's just like, when you see it, when you discern it, it's just like they immediately go to the electric chair in your mind. Like, you're not going to let things come too close to it where you have to, really think about it. Like, would you really let someone compromise your peace if you have power and, acknowledgement that you can really make it happen and come to existence? Like, if you know that you want to be at peace and you want to experience peace, you're not going to entertain bullshit, right? So understand that peace is a spirit power. A lot of people can't find peace because they're miserable. They're so miserable. Or better yet, they're following a chain of somebody else's actions. And just because they don't see any type of like rejection, they feel like it's going to be okay. The permission's going to be passed on to them to be able to do whatever. And it's like, no, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Let me tell you this. A side note. I got this earlier. Okay. And this goes into number 3, being that peace is your weapon. Okay. Just like, learning is your weapon, which we'll get onto that in our membership club. But you being knowledgeable is a weapon. You being at peace is a weapon. But let me go ahead and give you a little side note that came to me, because a lot of times we feel that, how can I put this? because you should really find peace in all your circumstances. But there's this little group of people, right? And this is how it came to me, okay? A lot of people have issues with control to a point where it's so, like, their impulse is so aggressive that, like, literally it's impulsive. So no matter how many times, like, it don't matter how many times quicker you think you are, you're faster, etc. A person with an addiction or a person that has some type of negative illness that makes them ask for favors, and yet they ask you, well, why don't you want to do this for me? Why don't you want to do that for me? Or just flat out, why won't you give them a yes or a no answer? That is a person that's part of that small little group that literally they never had, or they have very little, very minimum people in their lifetime up until they met you tell them no. So the people that they're used to, they will challenge that why, all because they know eventually they will break down to it. And when they break down to it, that's just like you taking little remnants of your peace away. And eventually, if someone is to break you down enough where you find yourself compromising your peace in order to be a people pleaser to people who don't have no business asking you for nothing that they can't go in that moment or go get themselves, they got your peace. That leaves you vulnerable to a satanic and spiritual attack. Now, if you don't believe me, let me put it to you like this. What happens if you do not sleep enough? What happens when you don't get enough rest? What happens if something catches you off guard? What happens when you don't at least try to have a plan? Fuck giving it to everybody else. We ain't talking about that. We talking about if you don't have a plan, but you decide to just walk out in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the Everglades. You ain't got a compass, an idea, a map, you name it. You just out there. What's going to happen? Or better yet, here's one for all the suburban and city folk like myself. How about this? You don't sleep, you don't eat right, you don't eat your vitamins, you don't eat your vegetables. You out here partying, drinking. It's like you got Pepsi in your bloodstream. You don't know nothing about water. You won't taste it. You won't do none of that. But you live life like it's golden. You party like a rock star. You mix drugs, life, and bullshit all together in a pot. And you don't take care of yourself. What happens? You break down. And you what? You feel miserable. When you compromise your peace, and when your peace is not first on your list and priority to protect and to stand up for it, you're bound to fall for something. I want to say anything, but you're bound to fall for something. You're bound to wake up to a lesson. You're bound to deal with the acceptance of the fact of you could have not fucked up by just remembering a lot of what it is we fight and maintain, sustain, and reach. Now at this point, I don't know if the pandemic has showed y'all, but it's opened up my eyes as to watching people. When you don't look at life as chess, you think this shit is checkers. The game can end easy with checkers, but chess, oh no. Chess can be a very long game. And so can the road of you trying to figure out your peace. So be mindful of how you move. Because if you move like a dog with his tail between his legs, you will find that people are going to see that. You're going to have one or two groups. You're going to have the ones that are going to protect and strengthen, or you're going to have the ones that break down the damage. Okay? So you got to be careful of what is conditioning you and what is helping you build the foundation of your peace. Because it's nothing, it is nothing worse. And I say this all the time in real life. Ain't nothing worse than you giving a person a finger and then they turn around and want to have another one too to fuck you. It's no point. It is no point. It is no point. First time that finger is up, that's a no. If that second finger go up, you brought it on yourself. That's all I'm saying. You brought it on yourself. And who needs that when you are already in a battle every single day as it is for your sanity, for your family, for your health, whatever the case may be. So understand, in that secret arsenal, peace is going to be on your top list, okay? Because your peace comes from a universe, a higher power, God, etc. You know what I'm saying? So for you to be able to be humble enough to be guided by someone unseen versus people out here with their eyes open and they still want to walk around blindfolded, one is going to have peace, but the other is going to be lost. Okay? Ain't no in between in life. I don't care nothing about someone telling you gray is a real color. No, it's not. So why live in the gray? Why live in the unknown? Why live in the blur? Okay? So, just to go through this again. Number one, peace is a spirit power. Okay? It is something you should hold dear to your heart and very close. Okay? Two, if you have peace, you have power. In order for you to have peace, you have to strive for it. And you're going to have to want it in order for you to go out here and try to find out what it is for yourself. A lot of people say, oh, well, I'm going after my happiness. I'm going after what will make me happy. You don't know what will make you happy. So you got to make peace in all circumstances. We all going to leave this earth bodily and we're going to move on in a spiritual realm. Everybody's going to have their turn and their time. And everybody got their ticket. Okay, so instead of us worrying ourselves into an early grave, drinking ourselves into an early grave, I need you to understand this. You need to rest. Because peace converts to power. You can't do anything with a feeble body, a weak body. You can't even really focus and pay attention if you don't eat. And you sure enough can't feel good about yourself if you don't take care of all of who you are. Not just the physical aspect of you. Your physical aspect of you says a lot about where you are mentally. And if you think I'm playing, let me hit you with this uppercut here. Even if you dress to impress but your mind's still somewhere else, you done put on all those nice clothes for no reason. Because I know plenty of homeless folks that have PhDs and clear minds. They just have had bad circumstances. But in the midst of them trying to deal with life, they still have some type of peace in their circumstance. And it's because no matter what worldly material is taken from them, they still have that piece of paper, whether it's on record, whether it's in their pocket, or whether it's laminated, to let them know, at any given time when God wants to give me my break for my due diligence and my obedience, I'm already prepared. But until then, there's always someone in the world that if you're nice enough and you appear that you're together enough to be wanting to help, that's where I start to spread my seeds of knowing that in due time, I'm going to get what it is that I put all my energy and effort into growing. Well, guess what, sweetheart? For you to know that, you got to understand you're making peace with your situation. And when that happens, and within due time in that season, it's time for you to grow, that peace that you had to make that garden of whatever you want to grow, that's going to give you power. You know what I'm saying? It's just like how corn, people don't know, a lot of gluten-free products have corn. You know why? Because corn passed through the system. You can't digest it. So that's how life lessons are. Shit's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how you look at it, we all take it in the same, but it all depends on how we focus on how hard we want to work for our peace and keep our peace. That's really gonna help us see what we get out of it. You feel me? So that is part one. Y'all let me know down below what is in y'all's secret arsenal, okay? Because I know for sure I have faith, I have peace, I have knowledge, I have prayer, I have intuition, and that's 5. We're going to talk about it some more in the Patreon club. Anyhow, be sure that y'all like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.